Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here to work on So Many Books, So Little Times by Diamond Art Club. It is a 56 by 109 or 22 inch by 43 inch. It is a square diamond shape and there is 53 colors. And I'd say we're not even close to being 1/4 done. And it's been a couple of weeks that I haven't worked on it. And I wanted to do at least 52 videos, and it would have made it so much easier if I would have done one a week, right? But today is Saturday, March, whatever it is, March 9th, I think. Yeah, probably March 9th. And lo and behold, we have no hockey today. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do an hour of this and try to get, you know, sort of ahead again. And the way I'm going to be able to tell is as I'm uploading my videos, I'm putting like one of, 52 because I wanted to do 52 times this week and see how far I can get on this thing here. So I'll go to the next number. So that's how I know if I'm going to catch up or not. So I'm hoping that on Monday or Tuesday, I can do like another one. So what I'm going to try and do is upload this today. Film it, edit it, upload it. I want to do some scrapbooking stuff too because I'm kind of behind on that too. So I'm hoping to do that, but that's not the only thing I have to do this morning. Well, it's been a while since I've been here, so I started doing sourdough bread, and I made my own sourdough starter. I started it probably, must be over a month ago now. Anyway, it took forever. I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of people say, oh, within 7 days you'll have enough big bubbles to, make breads. And I was like, I don't think this is ready. And so I just kept being persistent and, feeding it every day and trying to give it the right environment and all this stuff. And I'd say 20 days then, and plus it didn't help that at 10 days, I had to put it in the fridge for a few days because we went away to a hockey tournament. So that didn't help. But I was able to revive it, like when I got home, I just kept going. And then I think at 21 days, I made my first bread and it was success. It was so yummy. And, they say you shouldn't keep your discard at the beginning because it's not ready. So I was, throwing out whenever I was feeding. And my goodness, I didn't realize how much stuff I was throwing out because now I keep the discard probably from not the first day I made the bread because I wanted to see, how it was going to fare. But the second day I started saving my discard, and then I'm like, okay, this is accumulating fast. So I got to figure out what else I can do with this discard, right? So the first thing I did was sourdough discard waffles, and you let them ferment. Because the whole thing is, yes, you're making yeast with your sourdough or whatever, but to get the benefits of the sourdough, which if you don't know a lot, not that I know a lot, let me put that out there, but I've done a little bit of research. You know me, if I start something new, I gotta research it to death. By the way, we're doing 310. I like doing the outline. So basically you're making yeast. This is the way our, great grandmothers made bread because they didn't have commercial yeast. Then they came out with commercial yeast and, a lot of people, that's what they did. Some people still kept their sourdough because I see people out there saying that, their sourdough starter is 100 years old because it was their great grandmothers and, stuff like that. So, But when it became popular again was in 2020 when there was a shortage of yeast. So people were like, okay, what can I do instead of yeast? And it's really easy to do. You just need patience. You need flour and water, and unbleached flour or bread flour or rye flour, not bleached flour, because bleached flour, they've kind of bleached out all the stuff that will make it ferment, like make yeast. So then it grabs yeast out of the air, natural yeast, and it, creates your leaven, like what will make your bread rise. So like this morning, I fed my sourdough starter. I don't want to put it in the fridge yet. I know it's over a month old, but I really want it to, if you will, develop, right? I really want it to get strong. So I'm still feeding it every day. Oh, I need to name my starter. I don't know. My daughter gave me a name, but I can't even remember it. So that's it's some famous, I don't know, singer or actor or something, but I can't even remember it. So what do you think I should call my sourdough starters? So, because people call their they give them a name. And so anyway, I want to feed it every day. So needless to say, and I made 2 because I wanted to see if bread flour was going to work better than unbleached flour. And I can tell you, they work the same. As a matter of fact, one day I'm like, oh, the unbleached flour works better. Like the rise that I got from that, way better than the bread flour. The next day I'm like, oh, no, the bread flour. So they're the same. They're the same. But I can't give one up. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't keep feeding 2. So maybe one of them I'll make dormant, because something can happen to, somebody could accidentally cook it, for example. Because I know they say, do not put it in the oven because somebody's going to turn on the oven. I made a sign, and even if you put a sign, but I put a sign and I put it over the buttons to where to start the oven. So you literally have to lift that to turn on the oven. So, it's just me and Dave. We both know it's in there. It's been in there for over a month. So, and what I do is I just turn on the oven light and I open the door. And then that way it's not too hot. In the summer, I won't need to put it in there, but it's kind of cool in here. So I just, want to do that. So I think I'm going to develop quite a bit, and then I'll just put one in the fridge and then once a week. Because even if you can put it in the fridge, and then when you take it out, it'll take you a few days to, to get it kind of awake again. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to leave it months and months and months without feeding it. I'm going to get it out. I'm going to do what I do to feed it, and then I'm going to put it back in the fridge because it still ferments while it's in there. It still does what it does. It's just at a very slow rate so that you don't have to keep feeding it every day. Because literally, like, I make my feeder, I guess, what I feed them, I make it super thick. Like, I know a lot of people say, the thickness of waffles. I probably make it a little thicker than that. Because I do 10 grams of the sourdough starter. And there's about 110 grams in there. So that means there's 100 grams every day that I discard. So I don't want to put it in the garbage. So I have this other container where I'm keeping it, and I'm doing some sourdough discard recipes, which I'll talk about in a minute. Then I put 50 grams of flour, and then I put 40 grams of water. So I put less water than I do water. And the reason that I did is because I noticed when I was doing equals amount every morning, there was liquid on top, and that's called the hooch. And that means that my sourdough starter was starving. And I was feeding it. One thing you have to be diligent is that you feed it every 24 hours. So I make it 9 o'clock in the morning. So I just feed it 9 o'clock in the morning. And then if I want to make a bread, like today I want to make a bread. So then from that starter, I took in another jar, I put 50 grams of my sourdough starter, 50 grams of flour, and 50 grams of water. And that's going to be my leaven. And now that's going to take 6 to 8 hours to puff out. And when it does, then I'm going to mix the ingredients and make my bread. And then I'm going to stretch it for 3 hours. And then I'm going to put it in the fridge overnight, and then I'm going to cook it tomorrow. So it's a long process, but there's not a lot of hands-on. It's a lot of waiting. So, and today I meant to do that. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. What I want to do, next thing I want to try is, because they say that your proofing bread can stay in the fridge for 4 or 5 days. So what I want to do is, I need a bread for today, but it's just me and Dave. So it doesn't take us, it takes us a long time to get through a bread. So I don't want to bake 2 because that's just too much. So I think what I want to do is, but I would love to make 2 at once for efficiency, right? Let's just get it done. And then I can put it in the fridge. And then the day that I am ready to do it, then I can just take it out of the oven and bake it. And then maybe that day, make 2 more and keep them in the fridge, or the next day, put them in the fridge. And then next time I need bread, I just need to take it out. I don't need to go through the whole process of, making it, because it's a 24-hour thing. The next thing I did was I made some waffles. And oh my gosh, Mason's like, Mammy, those are the best waffles I've ever had. Can you make me some for home? And that uses your discard, which is good, because let me tell you, I have so much discard right now. So what I did this morning is or last night, you have to do it the night before, is I mixed a batch, and I didn't have my big bowl, because then I did my third thing, which is peanut butter sourdough cookies. So they're in the fridge right now. Mason loves them. I have to say, they're okay, but I'm used to my peanut butter cookies. So I'll probably make both. But if you like a chewy cookie, then it would be a recipe for you. I like more like a crunchy cookie. But I did put some in the fridge to ferment. So they're in there now. I got to take them out this afternoon, and I got to do research to see if I can freeze uncooked dough, because that's how I do my regular cookies. I just make them, roll them into balls, stick them in the freezer, and then what I do is, when we're ready for cookies, I just take out, 6 to 8 cookies or whatever, thaw them out, bake them, so it's not like a full sheet of, cookies. We just have some one night, and then we're good for a week or 2, right? So it's just more efficient. Especially now that we're 2, I have to find ways that, is not to cook for a crowd, which is what I'm usually used to. Okay, so now I'm going to do this right here, which is DMC 321, and it's case number 9. And what I did, because the 6 and the 9 look exactly the same, I put a little mark under there, because once you get them out, who knows, right? What number they are. Like if you take them out of your big case, it's like, uh-oh, what number was that? If you had 6 and 9 out at the same time, which happens because I like to take a whole bunch of them out and then I start diamond painting and then I go from there. Oh my goodness, people. It's been quite the last few weeks. I don't know. I feel like I keep thinking, is it going to slow down? Like, I don't know. So this week for us was our spring break, March break. So Mason spent the week here and he had a hockey tournament Monday and Tuesday. They got eliminated in the semifinals. Oh, they should have won that. It was like in overtime. It went into overtime and then it went into our shootout. They scored in the overtime, but they disqualified it. It was like, oh my gosh. It was quite the tournament. They had a blast though. And it wasn't with his regular team. It was like a brand new team that they just threw together. And oh my gosh, they did so well. So now they want to go in another tournament because they did so well, right? And so they want to go in another tournament. So that's going to add another tournament to our life. But that's okay. When they sent the message, I asked Mason, he was like, yes, 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 say yes. I said, well, you're going to have to ask your mom. And I said, you realize it's going to be like 4 tournaments in a row. He's like, I'm okay with that. More hockey. And I was like, okay. Oh, the kid doesn't love hockey at all. So this last week, from Sunday to Thursday, he had 10 ice time. So, and then when he leaves his last ice time, it was during a storm. We still went because it wasn't closed. We still went, but a lot of people didn't go. So the team after us, it was just a practice, and they said, is there any kids that want to come on with us to practice? And Mason was like, I want to go. So we ended up staying another hour. And then the team after that were short too. And he wanted to stay, and we're like, no, now we got to go. Like, we have to have supper. You know, we live half an hour away. So at this point it was 7:30. So it would have been 8:30. It would have been fine because he didn't have school, right? So that would have been the time to do it. But if we would have had supper before going, then, you know, maybe. Plus it was a storm. The roads weren't nice. Like, there was just so many things, right? We said, okay, that was like hour 11 on the ice this week. Like, aren't you exhausted? Yeah, but I still want to play. Oh my gosh. He had a blast. He had a blast. So his regular season is coming up to an end. We have one more game. And then it's the playoffs, which is the weekend after. So one game this Friday. Then the playoffs are the weekend after that. Then 2 weekends after that, it's their last tournament as a team. So that's going to be sad. They play so well. And then he jumps right into his spring hockey league. Like, literally 2 weekends after that, 2 more tournaments, and it's going to be like practices and blah, blah, blah. So it's not going to stop till probably the middle of May. The end of May. And then he's going to have June off. And then July, it starts again. Hockey camps. We put him in 2 right now, so. He says he wants to play soccer this year, which would be good because it's outdoors, you know, bunch of running around, so it'll do him good. Different sport, you know. It'll be good. Good, good, good. Okay. Just a few more of these. Yeah, I want to do at least an hour. I forgot to check. I think it was 10:30 by the time I started this. So this morning I made, they're still sitting right there, 15 waffles. And those are all for Lexi because Lexi loves waffles. So I just made like the round ones. Here, I'll show you. They're so nice and puffy too. So I made round ones for her. And I think, and then I cleaned up the kitchen. There wasn't too much to do because last night we had put the dishwasher on, but there was like maybe 4 things that didn't fit in. And I just did not feel like washing it by hand. I was exhausted. What's 12? It's number 3. Let's do number 3. Did not feel like washing it by hand. So, and that is DMC 351. So this morning I put the dishes away and I did that as I was cooking the waffles. So while I was cooking the waffles, you know, I put the dishes away, put the 4 or 5 pieces that were left over, and then, you know, I was cleaning up my mess as I was going. Oh, and I had to make my leaven. I had to feed my sourdough, and then I had to make my leaven for the bread I want to make this afternoon. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do an hour of diamond painting. I'm hoping to be able to go upstairs later and do a page that maybe I can upload tomorrow for YouTube, or maybe make some page kits. Maybe make page kits. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something. Maybe organization, because maybe a time to reset, because my room, because we've been going, I just have time to go up there, get done what I need to get done for Patreon, you know, because that takes me a couple of hours per page, if not more. And then it's like, oh, okay, we got to run and I got to do this. And so, you know, still got to make supper, and you got laundry to do, and, you know, clean up. And so I'd like to get something done up there. So it's 16. 16 is DMC 498, and it's sort of the triangle at the bottom left. So we'll do that. I don't know how much of that we're going to get done today. Hopefully quite a bit. I'm hoping to at least finish this, right? It would be awesome if I could, in 2 sittings. I don't think it's possible. I think it's going to be more like 3. In 2 sittings, if I could do one of those, right? So then in a month, that means that I could do 2 full ones of those. We should see how long. I think it's 3. I really think it's 3. So I don't know if I'd have to do maybe an hour and 15 minutes in order to get it done in 2. But I've been doing an hour and 8. Maybe it'd have to be an hour and a half. Right now, I don't know if I have the time for that. In 2 weeks, I start watching Lexi. 1 week, I'm going to have her 2 days. And the next week, I'm going to have her 3 days. So I really am going to have to plan, you know, what I do really well, which for me, that's not a problem. I like to plan anyway, but it's going to be like, okay, this week I have 3 days that I have that I can do my stuff or whatever. And I plan on using my silhouette on the days that Lexi's here. I'm going to set it up, because then you just have to feed it through, hit, you know, cut, and then I can walk away. So I can do at least an hour or so of that while she's here. Then it'll feel like I at least got something done, right? Even if I don't go right back when it finishes, even if I get like 3 done in an hour or something like that, it's not a big deal. And when she sleeps, I'm sure the first few days she's not going to sleep. But when she sleeps, then that's when I'm going to do the editing of the videos and stuff, because then I can sit on my countertop here and edit my videos, edit photos, you know, that kind of stuff. And I can even do this because I'm not talking loud, so it wouldn't necessarily wake her up. Oh, no, I couldn't do this because I have to film with my phone, so I wouldn't be able to see her. So no, this is not something I could do. Oh well, this is one thing that I could do, you know, the days that I don't have her, so that's okay. That's okay. I'll figure out my new rhythm, right? That's what you need to figure out is, okay, what's going to be my new rhythm? Oh man, it's been a few weeks. So what have I read in the last few weeks? I've read quite a bit of stuff. I just can't remember. Right now, let's talk about what I'm reading right now. I'm reading Kingdom of the Curse by Carrie Maniscalco. So that's book 2 in that series. And I'm about 85% done. So I should be able to finish it today. Because right after this, what I'm going to do, even before I go upstairs, like that will be kind of last because I just have other stuff that I have to do today. We bought like all new groceries yesterday. All new groceries. We got a grocery order yesterday and we bought like veggies. So what I do is I cut them all apart, all of them. And I put them in freezer bags and I like spice them, you know, and then we put them in the freezer. It takes quite a bit of time, you know, to do that, but I do it all at once and then it's done. And then I don't have to think about it anymore. It's just done. And then we don't lose any veggies, which I love. And they taste just as great from frozen. So now we're going to do number 7, which is DMC 900 and the little case 37. So because for a while there, it's like, oh, you know, we get busy and it's like, oh my gosh, we forgot. So we lost, you know, 5 or 6 mushrooms, or we lost a pepper or 2, or, you know, that kind of stuff. So now what I do is when I get those veggies, I cut them up right away. I put them in the freezer, and even with celery and like green peppers, I do that. And I do a lot of soups that, you know, I use green peppers, celery, and onions. And then that day, it's like, I just take out the stuff that's already cut up. Talk about a time savior, right? Because it's like, it's just done. I don't have to cut anything that day. It's like one time we had gone to hockey and we got home. It was like 7:30. We still hadn't had supper. And I said, well, how about if we have chicken wings and veggies? And Dave's like, oh, but cutting up all those vegetables. I said, no, they're in the freezer. All we got to do is warm up the pan, throw them in, and throw the chicken wings in the air fryer, and it's done. He's like, oh my gosh, that's such an easy supper. And it was just done, right? We could start watching our show while it was in the oven and in the air fryer, and 40 minutes later, it wasn't a quick supper, but 40 minutes later we were eating with minimal effort. So it's a lot of effort that I'm going to have to put in today, but future me is going to thank me because today I have time. We literally have nothing to do. Dave is working on some stuff downstairs. I'm gonna do a bunch of cooking because I did those waffles. I'm gonna prepare another batch of waffles because the only bowl that I had left, because you have to leave it rise or leaven or ferment, that's the correct word, ferment for under 12 hours, close to 12 hours. I figured it would bubble out of the bowl, and if I did a double recipe, and it probably would have. So I'm gonna do another batch. Ooh, yeah. Oh, maybe I'll just do it tonight. No, I can't do it tonight. There's hockey tomorrow. I should have done it before I started this. I guess if it leavens for 10 hours, it's still good. It should still be good. And then tonight, I just don't want to be making waffles at 11 o'clock tonight. Do you know what I mean? But if I do it at 9, it will still be good. So I want to do another batch, let that rise, because it did 15. So I want to send my daughter a double batch and then tell her, like, when you open your second bag, let me know, because my daughter loves them too. She has like Eggo for breakfast quite often. So when you open your second batch, let me know, and then I'll, make some more. Mason wants some at his house. So I'll probably, if I'm gonna do it, oh, I can't do a double batch. So I'll do a single batch again. And then that'll be Lexi's. And before I go to bed, I'll do a double batch. And tomorrow before hockey, I'll get up like at 8. And I'll make them. And then we can bring them and we can tell them, put them in your freezer or whatever. So, but instead of wasting that, like, Eggos are not cheap right now. So I'm making them for like pennies, right? And they're really good. I'm sorry, but they're better. So anyway, I started saying the books that I'm reading. So I'm reading Kingdom of the Curse. I'm almost done. So while I'm cutting up the veggies, I'm going to be listening to it, because I usually listen and read at the same time. But today I'm just going to listen to it because I have a bunch of stuff to do, so that's fine. And then I'm reading Rebecca because I want to read 6 classics this year. And I'm on classic number 2, so yay. Oh, I read To Kill a Mockingbird. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. So now I'm reading Rebecca today. I'll be at 50% once I read my 2 chapters. I have to say, like, I like it, but there's no way I could read like 10 chapters, 2 chapters, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like, maybe once it gets, I know it's going to get, I usually don't like to read anything but I saw sort of a review or something. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, so I know kind of like what's coming up. So maybe once that starts happening, it kind of gets a little maybe scary, if you will. Then maybe I'll want to read more than two chapters a day. And another thing, and it's so dumb, if the chapters are short, I can probably read, you know what I mean, 100 pages, because it's like, oh, well, the next chapter is only like 5 pages. I can do that. Well, these chapters here are long. They're all like 25, 27 pages. You know, I think one of them I saw was like 40. It's like, they're so long. So by the time I finish one chapter, I'm like, when you look at the next chapter, you're like 26. Oh, that's too much. You know what I mean? But if it was 10 chapters that were like, oh, it's only 4 pages. Oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do one more 4 pages. I don't know. I know it's all in my head. But it just makes it so much easier to go, just 4 more pages, whatever, 6 more pages. So I'm reading that. I just read Royal Valentine. And that was a short story. It was 6 novellas that they put out at Valentine's. And this was my 6th one. I went by Valentine's a little bit, but that's because I only found these books like 2 days before Valentine's. And I'm like, oh, well, whatever. They were free. I downloaded them from Prime. And this was my last one. I enjoyed the book. I only gave it 3 stars. I probably would have given it 4 stars, but I've never seen so many spelling mistakes in my life. And I'm like, didn't anybody proof this book? Like, every time the word didn't was there, it was spelled wrong. The word no, instead of no, it was Ken, K-E-N. And there was cannot was never spelled right. I'm like, okay, you guys put this up. Like, make sure. Okay, I'm going to do the arrow down, 814. Like, if it was would have been a little bit, I probably could have wouldn't have taken a star off, but it was just too much. In 70 pages, and it was only 70 pages, so it's not as if it was that much proofing to do. I don't know, maybe that was Prime, but you know what? The other 5 books weren't like that, like in that collection or whatever. So I don't know. But the story itself was cute. It was it was about royals, and I usually love that. So, the story I didn't mind. So I got that done yesterday. So that was good. I got a book done. And because of the tournament, I didn't get too much read this week, because after being at the arena, from 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night, I did not feel like reading. And I didn't feel, and there's a bunch of people there, so it's not as if I can be, antisocial. Well, I guess I could be, but I drove one of the moms there so she could see her son play. She didn't have a ride, so I went to get her, and so kind of would have been antisocial not talking to her. Wouldn't have been nice. So I didn't read while we were there, which a lot of times that's what I do. Like, I'll stay in the truck and I'll get a chapter or 2 read. I'll drink my coffee, and I'll have a blanket on top of me because it's usually cold. And then I'll read part of my book or whatever. But I couldn't do that this time, so I didn't get too much read this week. That's okay. Today, that's another thing I plan on doing today, is finishing that book, doing at least 2 on Rebecca. Maybe today I could say I could do a little bit more, because I have that book on ebook from the library, and I have 12 days left. and there's 27 chapters, and I'm on chapter 14. So 2 chapters a day, I should have it done in lots of time, but maybe if I do 3, and tomorrow I do 3 because it's the weekend, like maybe I can, I don't know, maybe I can get it done a little early, a couple days early. I don't like keeping the books till the very last day because there's people waiting for those books. I love to have just one book at a time checked out from the library, the ebooks. But what happens is, like some of these books, when I put my name on it, it was like 17 weeks wait. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, your library acquired, 3 more copies. So now it's only, 10 weeks. So it dropped like 6 weeks. Because usually what I do is I look at what the weight is, and I try to, when I put them on hold, I try to make it so that it's nicely spaced out so that only 1 or maybe 2 books will become available at the same time. But when they do that, then it's like, So I have a book that says it's 2 weeks wait right now, and the other one is 3 weeks wait. So I'm like, okay, I need to get Rebecca done because those 2 books are going to become available at the same time. And the thing is this year I want to make sure that I read stuff that's on my shelf a whole lot more. Out of the 100 books I read last year, I'd say probably 80 were from the library. So, and about 3 were from a Kindle. So that means like maybe 17 were from my shelf. Maybe, I don't even think it was that much. Might have been 10 books from my shelf. So it probably would have been more from the library. So I'm like, you know what? This year I can't do that. I got to read what's on my shelves because I should do a count and see how many books I have unread. Or maybe I don't want to know. But I'm sure it's over 700 books. So that's why this year I want to make sure that I read at least 50 from my bookshelf, at least. I still want to read from my library because it, supports the authors and supports your library. We don't want the libraries to go away, right? So we want to make sure that we support them. And whether you take a book's ebook form or audiobook or physical book, it still helps the authors and it helps the library. So I still want to make sure that I do those. But the books on my shelf, I paid for. So I want to make sure that I read those too. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I put so many books this year because I make a list of about 150 books that I want to read this year that I got to pick from, not read, because I've been usually reading about 100 books. So I'm not expecting to read more than that. If I read 105, great, but if I read 100 books, I'm happy with that. But I like to kind of have choices, So I usually make a list about 150. And what I do is the books that I don't read this year, that 50, those are the first 50 books that I put on my list for next year. They're there. Because if they made it to this list this year, it's books that I really want to read. Well, some of the books that I put on my list this year, they're all over 600 pages. And I put more than 12. So that means I have to read at least 2 a month. I don't know if there's 24, but there's more than 12. I know that. I put the entire series, the trilogy of Cassandra Clare, Chain of Gold. That series, I don't know what it's called, but I put that. I put the entire series of Sarah J. Maas, House of blah, blah, blah. I waited till they were all published before, you know, I want to start reading them because I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll probably, or 1, 2, 3. I want to do one month, 1 month, 1 month. I have a couple of books that it's, you know, series that I thought I finished, but then the author went and added a 4th book. One of them is Winter Keep, and then there's another one that goes with Winter Keep. So I want to read those 2 this year. One of them I have the physical book, and the other one I'll just borrow it from the library. Like I used to be like, oh, I forgot to do that. I have the first book, so I have to make sure to buy all the books to match. And now, no, I don't care. I don't care about that. My shelves are overflowing, so I really don't want any more books. Like I said, I think I want to buy under 10 books this year. And I don't even know if I'm going to reach that. I know last year, I think I was like maybe 5 books underneath that. Like I think I only bought 5 books, maybe. Might have been 5. So I might even start going through and saying, you know, I don't want to get rid of my Harry Potter books or stuff like that. Oh, talking about that. Oh my goodness, I got this. They're called miniatures. They're so cute. And the one I got is a Harry Potter theme. And you have to put it together yourself. So cute. And the other one I want, it looks like an open book. So you put it on your shelf. So it's like this way. And this side is open. And inside, it's kind of like a little picture of the library. Oh my gosh. So I don't know. I might start that this afternoon. I might start putting that together. Who knows? If I have time. Man, I have quite a bit of stuff there that I have planned. Oh, another thing we got was we got a big bag of garlic. And what I do is I'll keep a few that I'll keep fresh, you know, and then the rest I just peel them and then I put them in the freezer, and then there's no chance of them going bad. And I'm going to start doing that with onions too, because we buy our onions like in a 10-pound bag or whatever. So I'm going to start cutting those up when we get them and freezing them. So one, it's going to be a time saver. It'll just be like, oh, I need onions. There you go. I'll just cut that up, you know, take it out of the freezer and it's done. Like I made a soup the other day and it was like, oh, I had to cut my onions because I didn't do that yet. But I had cut my peppers and my celery, and it was like, well, that was easy. All cut up already. I didn't taste anything different in the finished product. So, I mean, I wouldn't try to eat it like, you know, if it was in a dish that would need fresh stuff, you know what I mean? You want that crunch like in a salad, like a cold salad. Well, that I would want, you know, like fresh stuff. But that's when, you know, if I'm going to do that, then I would go, okay, I'm going to do that. I'll go get a big pack of celery, use the fresh stuff for what I want, and then freeze the rest. Because it's way more cost efficient to buy the bigger stuff, right? And then just divide it up. We have our freezer on our fridge, and then we have a stand-up freezer. And I was telling Dave, I'm like, oh, I'm wondering if we shouldn't get a chest freezer for stuff like this, like stuff that maybe we could put the meat in that freezer. And then in our stand-up freezer, I could put, like if I do freezer meals and that kind of stuff, like the stuff that I kind of get ready, or the waffles, or you know what I mean? I make meat pies, and so then that stuff would be in there. So we're looking on Facebook Marketplace. We don't want to pay $400 or $500 for one, but if we can get one for $100, why not? It's going to make our life so much easier. And especially with the garden, like we want to do the garden this summer, so we might need it more than we think. So we're going to get that. Hopefully, I'm going to need some more of that. So what's the down arrow? Down arrow was 30. 814. Because there's all kinds of down arrows up here. We're sneaking up on the hour. So I'll probably just finish these down arrows. And then we will maybe call it good. We'll see. Because see, those, I didn't get them done. So it kind of bothers me because I already took those out and I didn't get it done. And now I see that there's some in there too. What was I doing? Oh, I think I just was thinking I was just going to do one section. But yeah, there's just not enough hours in the day, right? Just not enough hours in a day. And I would love to, I want to start walking. So, today it's going to be nice. So if there's no snow on the road, which I don't know, we had a big storm. So hopefully the roads are back down to tar. And Dave and I could go for a walk this afternoon, right? Go for a 3K walk, and maybe tomorrow afternoon go for a 3K walk. And then we're supposed to get snow again this week, but we'll see. But I want to start walking now, right? I want to start walking now. And then by the time summer's here, it'll be a habit. And Dave works from the office way more now, so I'm going to have to get used to going by myself. And that's fine. I'll stick an audiobook in my ear, and I'll go do 3 kilometers. And then once he gets home, maybe we can go again. As soon as he gets home, I can have supper ready, but let's go for a 3K walk. And then that way I'll get 6Ks done in a day. That would be awesome. And then on the weekends, I'd like to bring it up to 7 kilometers like we did. Not last year, but the year before. On the weekends, we would do 7 kilometers. So I'd love to be able to do that. For sure. For sure. Okay. There's a little burr on this, so let's get rid of that. Let's get that. Okay. This one was a little, well, I guess it's like that with everything. It just wasn't a big thing altogether. It's just kind of a little bit here, a little bit there. But I'm actually doing a book right now So yes, those little miniatures, I just love that it's book related, but it's not, that's not the only thing there is. Like there's all different kinds, but the book related ones, I'm like, Harry Potter, really? And it's not huge. It's only like this big and this tall. So I'm gonna put it together and then I'm gonna put it next to my Harry Potter books. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I want the other one too. I want the book. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not buying it until I get this one done. Now let's get this done. I don't think I'm gonna edit this right away though. I think I'm gonna do my veggies first. And since I'm doing that, guess what? It'll be meal prep for tonight. So we have chicken wings, so we can have veggies in the oven. And then we can have chicken wings. Yeah, let's do that. I was thinking maybe make a small potato salad, but I don't know. I think I'll probably just do those two things. Okay, I got interrupted and now I cannot remember what I was saying. So if it changes subject really quickly, that's why. Okay. I think I'm gonna do those just because it's bugging me that I didn't do it. I think I was talking that I want to make a potato salad, but I don't know if I have the oomph to do that today. So we're gonna do that one there again, the triangle, which is $4.98. And then that'll be done, right? See, yeah, I think that's gonna take at least 3 sessions, at least. Because in order for it to be 2, I'd have to be done all of that. And then the next time I could just do that. I wonder how long that would take, because there's not much there. We're at the 1 hour thing right now. Right now, I don't know if I'd be able to do 1.5 hours every time, but okay. So yeah, so I ended up reading quite a few books on Valentine's, for Valentine's, they were all cute. They were all novellas. And, you know, at Christmas time, I like to read a couple of books, you know, that's Christmassy. At Halloween, I'm not one that's big for like horror or really scary, but I don't mind mystery thrillers. And I don't mind witchy books. I love witchy books, actually. Actually, I've been reading a lot of witchy books right now, which I'm loving. But I can't remember which one, like what they were called. Well, Kingdom of the Cursed has witches in it. So that's one, but the other one I was reading too, that I just finished, had witches. What was it called? I can see the cover. I can see the cover. I just can't see the book. Like, what was I reading? Anyway, it had witches in it too. It was really good. I really like that. I was like, uh-oh, I'm reading two. I didn't even realize that the other book had witches in it too. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm reading 2 books that are witchy related. So am I going to get them confused? But no, I did not. So I think the next one I'm going to start, because I'm going to finish one today, is I'm going to start Winter Keep. And that is part of the, I can't remember what the name of the series is, but it's like Bitter Blue was one of them. It's a fantasy series. Kristen Kishore is the author. And so there's a couple of books that came out after that. I don't know if it is a few years later and it follows different characters, or, you know, what the story is, because it's been too long since I got the book, so I don't remember. But I just know I want to finish that series. I'm pretty good at keeping up with finishing series. I'm actually, you know, I make a conscious effort. Well, first of all, I can't wait too long in between books because then I forget too much details. I remember what the book is about, but little details like what happened to this person. Although when I start reading the book, then it all comes back. But anyway, I don't like to wait in between. I just like to start a series and just finish it. And that's why I usually wait until a series is done. Like Fourth Wing, I don't think I would have started reading it if I knew that it was going to turn into a 5-book series, because now, yes, book 2 is out, which I got to read. That's one of the books I'm going to read this month. But then we're probably going to have to wait till December for book 3, and then 2 years before it's finished. So, but it is what it is. Most of the series that I read, I try to read them back to back to back. Okay, so that's done. Shoot, I can't remember. Okay, the triangle. I can't remember what that was. Okay, so let's put this away. Let's do number 6. And I think after that, we're going to call it good. So we need 31. But then I'm going to be like, but I'm so close. I'm going to put this over here so I know, I'm going to know which one it is. I just don't like that I left this undone. So I feel that I need to get this done. I just wish you didn't have so many 6s over there. That's okay. So one of my friends, she moved way across the country. They left yesterday. I spent a good part of the day with her last Sunday, but I hadn't seen her basically since Christmas. We saw them at Christmas. We're just so busy. So I'm glad I got to see her before she left. I worked with her for years and years and years at 911. She was on my team for many years. So, but I'm happy for them. Like, she's moving where her daughter's gonna be, and her daughter just had a baby 18 months ago, so she's going so she can see her grandkid grow up. And I totally get that. Like, that's why, you know, like, I want to watch my granddaughter, because, man, they grow up so fast. She started crawling. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. So cute. So cute. My daughter takes so many videos and pictures too, so that's awesome. So they have of her crawling the first time, and then yesterday, my goodness, that kid loves the bath. She started a few weeks ago. She has one of those chairs you put in the bath, and then you don't have to worry about them trying to stand up and crack their head. And, you know, she's been trying to sit up in the bath even before she could sit up, you know. And so she got that little chair, and it's really secure. And so what she does, she bends her head forward and blows bubbles. So sticks her head in the water and blows bubbles. She's so stinking adorable. And now when you do something and she doesn't, or she's done eating, or if you're, teasing her, like tickling her or whatever, she shakes her head no when she's had enough. Oh my gosh. Or my daughter was trying to give her, she was on antibiotics because she had a sty that just would not go away. And anyway, when she was giving her the antibiotic, she was shaking her head no. Oh, little turkey. Oh, and then the poor kid, man. Then she had RSV, which is very scary, right? So then she was on puffers, and you have the aero chamber and all that, and she would hold her breath to not take her medication. So then it would take 2 people, and then finally, though, by the time she would take it, she would go, that's how you're supposed to take a puffer. So worked out good. She's better now. She's still coughing. So she's still giving her the puffers only twice a day now, in the morning and at bedtime. So until all that stuff is, she's not coughing a lot, but when she does cough, you can tell there's still, like, she's producing stuff. So so she's still giving her puffers. But what a peanut. She's going to have quite the character. I was telling Katie I can't wait to, like, teach her how to bake and cook and all that. So I was looking at one of those. It's like those things that you put beside the counter, and they stand up there, and there's less chance of them falling and stuff. So I'm like already looking at that, right? I got off Amazon or Facebook Marketplace. I got one of those. They're called playpen yards. So it's not just like a little playpen. And so that, if I have to make supper or whatever, I can just, for now, because she can't stand up next to me, I can just put her in there with her toys, and I know she's going to be secure. I'm still going to get gates and stuff, but for now, she's not walking, so we'll put her in there to keep her secure. If I need to go to the bathroom, put her in there, go to the bathroom. She can't stand up yet, so she's trying though. Oof. She is trying. But I am going to get a gate for my stairs and stuff, so 100%. So that'll be fun. I have to go get foam. I'm starting in 2 weeks, so I'm going to go get foam for the bottom of that playpen. So I found some at Walmart. They're 2 feet by 2 feet, so I just need 2 packages. Just so if she falls backward, you know what I mean? She's sitting down, or she tries to crawl and goes forward or whatever. She's not, there's no padding in those things, so make sure she doesn't get hurt. Oh, gotta get that. Yeah, daycare is so expensive. I just said, I'm here, so I'm just gonna, and I want to see her. I want to see her grow up. So that way, 1 week I'll get to see her twice, and the other week I'll see her 3 times. And in the summer, his mom doesn't work in the summer because she works at a school. So she said she can, 1 week she can take her, the other week I'll have her. So I'm going to plan our vacation because we want to go camping and stuff. We'll plan it around that. And so that'll be good. So then they can do stuff in the summertime. We can do stuff in the summertime. You know what I mean? Like, and then it'll save them. Because daycare is not cheap. Plus, nobody takes a baby that young. She's only 10. She's going to be 11 months old by the time she goes back to work. she didn't get a full year because the store she was working at before closed up. So she was on EI. She found a job 6 months after the store closed. She just started working and got pregnant. So she worked for 7 months, right? So she didn't have her full, almost full, 1 month short, because she was put off because they were afraid she was going to go early, which she ended up going early, but it probably would have been earlier. Oh, that is 3371, by the way. It probably would have been even earlier than that if she hadn't been put off, right? So, she's going to be working with autistic kids. So she didn't want to go back to retail. She got a job offer. She didn't even apply for it. They found her on LinkedIn and they said, "You're exactly what we're looking for." And she was like, but you're not what I'm looking for. Just because you work till 8 or 9 and just almost every second weekend. And she's like, I didn't mind doing it. She's been doing it since she was 18. But with a kid, she wants her weekends. Her husband works every second weekend, but then he also has days off during the week, but he also has weekends off, right? But at least if one of them has the weekend off, because if both of them were working on the weekend, then it becomes that I would have had, or his parents would have had to take Lexi on the weekend too. So this way it works for everybody. She's going to have her, every weekend off. So she's pretty excited for that. She's going to be done at 5 every day. So, which is awesome. So she's pretty excited. There we go. Okay, I think I'm going to finish this. Oh, I forgot those. Well, that was dumb. We might have to do those 310s. Because I don't like it when I don't do colors that I already did. Hey, maybe next time we might be able to finish. So maybe I can do it in 2 times. So if I do an hour and 20 minutes, I might be able to do, oh, this one had a burr. I might be able to, if I could get 2 of those done a month, I would be happy. I don't even know if that would mean that I would get this done by the end of the year. I know when I was looking at the miniatures, I'm like, really? You want to add one more thing? But that's oh, there's some up here. That's something that, like I said, I'm not getting another one until I finish the first one I got. And then if I finish that one, then I'll do the book. I don't even know if I want more than 2. They're cute, but I don't know if I want more than 2. I have a specific place that I have for them. Okay, what was that? 47 right here. So I have a specific place that I have for them. Okay, let's do 310, which is container number 7. Now I'm like, but maybe I could do those because there's not a lot. I could see you know, someone that's retired and, you know, it's like, okay, oh, look, those arrows. I don't have to start supper till this time. So yeah, I would put a TV show on or an audio book and just do this all afternoon. Just do this all afternoon. I think it would be fun. I know that 1 hour a week is not enough if I want to be able to get done all the ones that I've bought. I haven't bought any in 2 years. So I have nothing to kind of get after myself for that, because I haven't bought any in 2 years. So it's not as if I keep buying them and then I don't do them. But I have a bunch. Okay, so this is DMC 600. And I know that 1 hour a week, there's no way I'm gonna get it done. But for now, that's the amount of time that I can allot to it. So maybe that now that Dave has to go to work a little bit more, like 3 times a week. I mean, he is here today. I had to stop the recording a minute ago because he was coming upstairs, but I have 3 days. But then again, I'm going to have the baby, so. I'd love to ramp it up to 2 times a week for sure. Okay, that was 18. I think I'm going to finish those arrows because again, I can't believe I didn't do it. And I had the containers out, so let's just okay. Okay, that's good. I'm happy with this. I think I might be able to finish the other one next time. I'm pretty confident we can get that done next time. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna end it here. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. And I wanna thank you so much for watching. Bye.